Hi, and welcome to The Checkpoint, the show between the show, where we check in on our video game book club progress and talk about anything and everything in the video game entertainment space. I'm your host, JP, and this is your co-host always, Benjamin, the tizzleist of all of the tubes. How you doing, my man? You doing good?
I'm good. I'm kind of like the walking wounded right now. I'm like my body is in shambles from weekend activities. Like I went on a really long run that left me like unable to walk, and then after that I was doing something in my backyard standing on a chair, and I like totally wiped out on the chair and like went flying across my backyard and landed in the grass. So I'm just like I'm falling apart. But how are you?
You're like a living Looney Tunes character. What do you mean you're slipping and falling across the yard? That's crazy.
It's hard to describe, but it was honestly, I'm surprised I didn't get like seriously injured. So I'm thankful. That's
okay.
It.
I'm glad you're okay. I have a existential question for you. Or maybe not existential.
Great.
I want to know if I'm a good boy or a bad boy, you know? So, speaking of runs, I was just on a run, a lovely run.
This is a running podcast.
Actually, no more video games.
Way too much.
I was on a run just now. I was on the run like an hour ago. And man, there's this neighbor, like, you know, some blocks down that has started growing these like beautiful flowers. I mean, they're so beautiful, and there's muchos of them. Okay, it's not like 10, it's like 100, maybe 100 flowers, and they're tall. They're like these really tall. It's like a picture a really tall like daisy sunflower mix, because it's bigger than a daisy, but it's not as big as a sunflower, and I don't really know what that flower is, but it's pretty. And so when I did my first loop, which is 1.25 miles, I was like, oh, baby, I already know that on my last loop, I'm going to grab some of those flowers and bring them to Katie, you know?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. I finished the third loop, and I, went to the neighbor's house, and I was thinking, should I knock? Should I not knock? Should I just grab them? Whatever. I just grabbed them, came home, put them in a vase with water for my wife, and presented her the flowers, and she was happy. And she goes, did you just steal from our neighbors? And so my question to you is, am I a good boy or am I a bad boy? You know, I don't know.
I mean, it's like,
is it wrong?
You individually are not a bad boy, but like if everyone took a couple flowers, then there wouldn't be any left, right? So it's like what you did wasn't that bad, but like
it's a slippery
if everyone did that, it's a slippery slope. And where I live, for whatever reason, the neighborhood we live in has fruit trees like everywhere. And so like all kinds of stuff grows at different points in the year, like citrus, lemons and limes, oranges, grapefruit, pomegranates, like figs, like
love a pomegranate.
Apples, like so much fruit grows in our neighborhood. And similarly, whenever I'm like out on a walk or a run, the temptation to just like snag a pomegranate off the tree is so strong. And we definitely do it sometimes. Like if it's in the sidewalk, I'm not going to go in someone's yard, but if it's like in the sidewalk, it's kind of fair game,
dude.
You know?
it's for 100%. This flower, it's not just one. It's a million. Like I said, it's so many flowers. It's behind the fence, and they're growing over the fence into the like sidewalk. So I just
you're helping
from the
them,
sidewalk.
You're helping them prune.
Exactly. I'm helping. I mean, listen, they're definitely trying to show them off, but it's in the sidewalk. It's public property at this point, and I can grab one. But
we'll see how that holds up in court.
Just let me know in the comments or in the Video Game Book Club Discord, and if you're not in there, you gotta be in there. What do you think? Am I wrong or am I okay? Am I gonna go to heaven or am I gonna go to hell? That's all I want to know. You know who definitely
if it hinges on that, I think we're all in trouble.
I don't know. Maybe this is the ultimate test. Maybe. Listen, Ben, do you know who is not going to go to heaven or hell? Lorelei and her freaking crazy laser eyes, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Not really. I don't really know what you're saying. I know about Lorelei and her laser eyes. I think that transition was a little dubious, but
You didn't like it? You didn't like it? I feel like I'm perfecting segues.
I don't think it wasn't a smooth landing. We'll say that.
Was it not?
So I have finished the game. I kind of like, it was one of those things where I just got really wrapped up in it, and I wound up playing it like for a few hours each night and just like kind of locking in, and I just finished it quickly. So it took me like 15 hours. And it was great, but I want to know, like, I'll maybe give some of my overall thoughts, but before I do that, I want to like hear about where you're at and what you've done, so I don't say anything bad.
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is, of course, our video game book club game of the month for the month of October. It's a spooky game that the community has picked, and I decided to stream all of it. And I had a trip basically at the beginning of the month, so I haven't been able to stream as much as I wanted. I streamed just one Sunday, the previous Sunday, so 1 week ago from today. And I played for like 3 hours. So I'm about 3 hours in. I have about 26% completion on the game. Talking to Ben, I'm about, a fifth of the way there maybe, because it took him about 15 hours. So I'm planning. Yeah. Oh, we're announcing it. I'm planning to play tomorrow. Ben is not going to be able to attend our Wednesday stream, so I will be exclusively streaming Lorelei and the Laser Eyes for those who want to. Oh, or I guess it's today for you. Hello, it's today.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this right now, I'm about to stream.
We're time traveling.
In a few hours. Where am I in the game? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. I literally am walking around and I find books, and then the books have puzzles in them, and I'm like, ooh, I want to solve this puzzle and maybe show that I'm smart or dumb, and then some.
Or dumb.
Some stuff I do incredibly quickly and it just clicks. And some other puzzles, I'm like, all right, after a couple minutes, I'm like, maybe I don't have the necessary knowledge for this just yet, and I'll try again later. Yeah. What has happened? Let's see. I have met the hotel proprietor, of course. I have met the grandmother who is sleeping in my bed. Why is she there? Why does she have laser eyes? Is she Lorelei? I don't know. Probably. And then, of course, I have found the body in the garden. And it seems like the main character didn't really care. We looked at her. She was in the garden dead. And I said, thank you for the key that you're holding. And I grabbed it and I left. And that was about the 3 hours that I played. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Yeah, so you've got no idea what's going on. I mean, I finished the game and I kind of have no idea what's going on. Like the game as in general, and we're going to talk so much more about this at the end of the month when we do the full episode, but I feel like the game keeps its cards very close to its chest, physically and metaphorically. And then it kind of dumps it all on you at once towards the end. And it's like very overwhelming because you're trying to do all the puzzles, which get really involved towards the end. And you're trying to like keep up with the deluge of like lore that's happening. And it's a lot. And I really liked it, but it's definitely a lot. So I'm interested to hear about and watch you go through it.
Yeah. I hope you join up and laugh at the. There's been two types of like reactions.
I had too many like moments myself of having to look something up or like feeling like I couldn't do it, because it's such a fine line, and you never know when to draw the boundary between like, do I not have enough information for this, or am I just dumb?
Yeah.
Like, and so a lot of times what I would do is like look up the puzzle and see if it says like, oh, it requires, something from this area, then I'd be like, okay, I don't have enough right now. Or if it says
gotcha.
Yeah, it can be solved like whenever, then I would try to spend more time. So I definitely did that a fair amount, I would say.
I haven't looked anything up yet. I have had two reactions basically on Twitch chat when I stream. One is, oh my God, you did that so quickly. It took me forever. And that always makes me feel a little bit good. And then I have another one that it's like, JP, what are you doing? You know, like you don't know what's what. And that one doesn't make me feel as good. But it's hilarious that, that's kind of like the interactions that you have in a purely puzzle game that no one wants to spoil for you. You know, so I'm just like, they're watching a monkey basically with a typewriter. And it's, sometimes I write something good and they're like, damn, this guy's cracked. And sometimes I don't.
Yeah. And that's kind of just how it goes too, though. Cause like everybody's brain works differently. Everybody, like certain puzzles I'll come up on and solve them like that.
Yeah.
And then others I'll sit there for 10 minutes trying to figure out, can't do it, look for a hint or something, and then feel so dumb because it's so obvious. And I'm like, how did I miss this? But it's just, we all think about stuff different ways, and I feel like these kind of puzzle games show that in like a lot of ways and in really strong ways.
I feel like a lot of the more tactile puzzles that are like buttons and stuff that I get immediately. Like immediately, I'm like, oh yeah, this is not hard. And like some of them are like incredibly obtuse. You know, like you have no idea.
Yeah.
Or like it doesn't tell you anything. It's just like 7 buttons, and I'm in my brain, boop, 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 oh, I got it. You know, put the buttons in and I'm in. And sometimes I'm doing like these like more like, let's call them like number file puzzles, which is funny because I'm an engineer and I feel like I'm good with math, but it's not math. It's more like, can you read between the lines or like see between the lines of these numbers? And that I struggle with more. You know, I get it eventually, but definitely I had learned that about myself. I didn't realize that tactile stuff is more up my alley. So it's super interesting. I have really enjoyed it. Like Ben mentions, I think the game has a way of like making you want to keep playing because there's just so many things that you find for you to solve. Like for example, the hotel is full of these like film posters that the owner of the hotel or whatever, who you're assuming that you're like finding in this hotel, he directed or whatever. They're his movies. And next to each door, I mean, there's a door next to each poster, and you find like a diary full of like information about those movies. And so then you like put it together that like you have to solve the door puzzles with the book. But you don't want to stop until you find all the films. You know, you're like, oh, well, now I want to walk around and like go to each film door. I mean, poster, and then next to it, the door, and solve it and go through it. And then there's another puzzle inside those rooms, and you want to do the whole thing. And so you just keep going, and you never want to stop.
Yeah, no, the urge to do one more thing or go one more place or check one more thing is so strong. It keeps you coming back, and you just have to. I would catch myself at like 10:30 at night, just like trying to solve one last puzzle. I'm like, okay, I need to stop. But then you go to bed and you're still thinking about the puzzles. You're still thinking about,
how can I solve this?
What's the answer? How do I rotate these things in my mind? How do I, whatever? It's just, it's crazy.
The funny thing to me is that I thought you were going to say like you were up until like 1:30 in the morning, but you said like, I'm up until 10:30 p.m., bro.
No, bro, that's my bedtime, man.
Bedtime.
That's
10:30.
No,
yes,
I'm kidding.
Yes.
If I could, if I had the freedom, I would be until 1:30, no doubt. But I don't.
This dude complains about bedtime every day.
It's an issue. It's an issue in my life.
That is so funny. All right, we're gonna leave Lorelei here at this point because we don't want to spoil everything. We don't want to spoil our conversation really about Lorelei. Of course, you already know that in 2 weeks' time you will have our full episode on Lorelei and the Laser Eyes for Video Game Book Club. So if you are still listening and you're not part of it, what are you doing? You gotta join the club.
Join the club.
We're gonna
Discord in the description.
Exclamation point socials. That's what Ben keeps telling me to do on Twitch because or Discord. I'm really bad at Twitch. I don't know what I'm doing on Twitch, bro. Exclamation point Discord.
Sounds really complicated. Sounds super complicated.
It's really complicated. All right, we're gonna go from the book to the short story now. That's right. I have a mini video game book club for you. And you thought
Surprise.
I wasn't gonna. You thought I wasn't gonna.
Yeah, I did.
Because I only had 2 days to put something together. And guess what? I did.
Wow.
Ben. My short story this month is Mouthwashing. That's right. That's not, I'm not announcing. It's not a PSA. Hey, boys and girls, wash your mouths. The game is called Mouthwashing. Okay. And Mouthwashing is a horror walk-in simulator, and it's played in first-person perspective. It is actually incredibly disturbing. It is very disturbing. So if you don't like disturbing things or people talking about disturbing things, skip, I'm going to say 7 minutes ahead. But if you do, then hey, stay. And I'm going to give like a basic information of the game, and then I'm going to talk about the story. And the game is really story heavy. So, stay around for now, but if you really don't want to know anything, I'll let you know when to skip ahead. The game, basically, you play as 2 different characters. This guy called Curly and this guy called Jimmy. And basically, you are the head of a crew of a freighter spaceship. And the spaceship hauls like cargo or like inventory across planets.
Okay.
Yeah. But you are like one of the last freighter ships that are like manned.
Do you mean freighter?
Is that how you say that? They don't talk. So, oh, damn, dude. English is my second language.
I know.
ESL.
I had to.
ESL.
I had to.
Freighter. No, freighter. I said it the same way. Freighter. Sorry, a freighter. You are in charge of this freighter spaceship that hauls inventory across the galaxy. I'm sure between planets, but it doesn't really say. And the gameplay is mostly like you as one of the 2 characters walking around, interacting with stuff on the ship and like the characters in the ship. And it's a crew of 5 people. It's Curly, who's the captain. Jimmy, who is the co-captain or co-pilot or whatever. This guy called, what's his name? I already forgot. Swansea. He's the mechanic. Daisuke, he is the intern. And Anya, who is the nurse. So a nurse, a mechanic, an intern of the mechanic, and then the 2 pilots. And basically, that's it. You're hauling. So I am going to talk now about the story because it's insane. So if you don't want to know anything about the story, Ben, please grab your phone and set a 5-minute timer because guys, if you're listening, if you don't want to know, skip 5 minutes ahead. I'm going to try to contain the whole plot of this game, which is only 2.5 hours long, in these 5 minutes. Let me know when you're ready.
Go.
Okay, so Curly has been the captain of the Tulpar, which is the ship that works for like the Pony Express, which again is like Amazon, for like a while. And he's really good. He's like exceptional captain or whatever. And he's a really good dude, I guess. And he gets his friend Jimmy, who is like a really shitty dude, a job. And he's like, hey, maybe if I get him a job, he'll be like a better person. So he like, recruits him. And this is Jimmy's like first few flight. Curly gets a letter at some point during this flight that everyone's going to be fired and Curly is going to be promoted because the Pony Express is also going to go with unmanned ships now. It's going to be all fully automated. There's not going to be crews on ships anymore. And so, what does Curly decide to do? He decides to tell the crew on his birthday party that they're all going to be fired except him and he's going to be promoted. Of course, everyone starts spiraling, but the person who starts spiraling the most is Jimmy because, again, I can't stress this enough. He is a piece of crap. He sucks. He's the worst.
Oh my God. We hate Jimmy on
basically he starts blaming Curly and he's like, Curly, you're like the worst. Like you brought me here just so that you can gloat about your promotion. Like you knew that this was going to happen. Like, what are you doing? And then Jimmy sexually assaults Anya.
Oh my God.
And Anya tells, nothing is shown, just FYI. Anya tells Curly about this. And tells Curly, hey, also, I'm pregnant. So, oh my God, Curly is like, what the fuck? This is terrible. But to be honest with you, Ben, he's not that, like, pressed about it, which I didn't appreciate as much. And so he confronts Jimmy about it. And he's like, brother, what the hell? You need to, like, take responsibility of your actions. This is, like, not good. But again, he's not, like... He doesn't beat him up. I would have, beat the shit out of him, especially if he's your friend.
Sure.
Like, what are you doing? But he doesn't. Jimmy has a full-on panic attack, and he's like spiraling. He's hallucinating. He's definitely like psychologically not there. And he decides to steer the ship into an asteroid to like kill himself and everyone in the ship, basically.
Fair enough.
And then Curly realizes that this is happening. Okay,
2 minutes 30 remaining.
2 minutes. Okay. Curly realizes that this is happening, and he runs towards the ship. Towards the cockpit, sorry. And he tries to steer the plane or the spaceship away from the asteroid, but ends up hitting it also. It's not a dead-on hit anymore, so it doesn't explode or whatever. It's kind of like a hit and run. I don't know. But it's enough to, one, leave him completely like mutilated. He's alive, but he's like no skin anymore. He looks grotesque. Doesn't have any limbs. He's just like a vegetable. And then the like emergency like airbag / foam system deploys, which basically keeps a small section of the ship airtight with this foam, and everything else is inaccessible, including their food. So now they are in like just 4 rooms of the spaceship. And one of the rooms is the cargo. And so they spend a lot of months, literally months, arguing whether they're going to open the cargo or not. Maybe weeks at this point, actually. They have never opened the cargo. They don't know what they're freighting. Freighting?
You got it.
Freighting.
Yeah.
They open up the boxes, and guess what is in there? Mouthwash. It's mountains and mountains of boxes full of mouthwash, and it just it makes them go crazy. They don't understand like their importance of their life sucks. They literally are put on this earth to like freight mouthwash mouthwash across galaxy. Jimmy starts going crazy, and he starts hallucinating left and right. And basically, I know that I probably only have like a minute left, so I'm gonna go really quick to
45 seconds.
Okay, Anya locks herself in the hospital room or nursing room with Curly because she can't stand Jimmy anymore. And then Jimmy wants to open the door, and so he sends Daisuke towards like through a vent hole to the room where Anya and Curly are. And he gets extremely hurt because it's really dangerous. Anya then, or like he realizes too, once like Daisuke opens the door, that Anya had OD'd on painkillers, and she's dead. R.I.P. Anya. Daisuke is in pain. Jimmy pours mouthwash on his body. Okay, listen. Yep, go ahead. He's counting me down. Hey, we're back. If you're back from the 5 minutes, do 2 more minutes. Do 2 more. That's all I'm going to tell you. Oh my God. Do 2 more minutes because I'm not done.
I'll sit here quietly. You go ahead.
Okay. 2 more minutes. So then he pours the mouthwash over his body, Jimmy. And then Swansea basically, he's writhing in pain, Daisuke, and Swansea loves this kid. And then he basically like grabs an axe and like kills Daisuke, like euthanizes him, let's call it that way, because he's like absolutely gonna die, and Jimmy was basically just torturing him. Then Swansea is so mad, and he like charges at Jimmy with the axe, and Jimmy at this point had found a gun, and he kills him.
Ugh.
Yeah, so everyone basically is dead except Curly and Jimmy. He grabs Curly. He kind of like, Jimmy puts everyone on the like dining room table like they were at the birthday party like months ago. He like kind of like sits everyone up, brings Curly to the table, chops off his leg, and then feeds himself and everyone, or at least is hallucinating that he's doing, some leg of Curly. Eventually, he starts kind of maybe coming back from his panic attack or psychosis, and he wants to atone for everything that he's done. So he puts Curly in a cryogenic pod that Swansea was saving for Daisuke because he's like a 20 or like an 18-year-old kid. And he puts Curly in there, and then he offs himself, Jimmy. And that's the game.
Wow.
Now, the game is crazy. It's really good. It's like a 2.5-hour movie, basically. But what I haven't told you, Ben, is that this game is played in chunks of like a few minutes, and everything is out of chronological order. Everything, like nothing is in order. So you start the game and you just have a text that says, it's basically in 3 parts. You have a text that says 5 months before crash. And so you're like, okay, I'm 5 months before crash. Then the next part of the game, like 2 minutes later, it says, 1 week after crash, and everything is very different. And then the third part is 5 hours before judgment. And so there's judgment, there's after crash, and there's pre-crash. And you keep jumping back and forth all these 3 timelines between Curly and Jimmy as well. And sometimes you don't know who you are because it's first person and you can't see yourself. So sometimes you don't know if you're Jimmy or you're Curly. So you think, oh man, Curly sucked. Curly was the bad one, and Jimmy is actually pretty good. And you play as Jimmy, so you're like, yeah, I'm good, right? But of course, you're not. So yeah, the game was actually pretty intense. It's one of those where you probably should play. Like, you should play it twice. Like, I played it once. Again, like, I didn't really know what was going on. This interpretation that I have is like what I think happened. But of course, if you're listening to this and you have played the game and you listen to my 7-minute recap, not 5, I'm sorry. You should let me know. If what I got wrong, what I got right, or whatever.
How's your like mental state right now? Like,
no,
that's a lot to take in.
It was insane. And I was playing this game on the plane. On my Steam Deck. I have a Steam Deck, guys. I don't know if you know this. I have a Steam Deck.
Don't know if you know.
And it was crazy, Ben. I was like, what is happening? And
that's an insane place to play that game is on a plane. You gotta need to hide the screen.
Don't look. Exactly. Dude, it was wow. Oh man, it was pretty intense. It is really well done. There's a lot that I left out. I mean, it's crazy how much information is in this game in just 2.5 hours, and 2, half of the time, again, Jimmy is not like mentally there. So he's hallucinating a lot. And the avatar or whatever of, not avatar, like the brand mascot of the Pony Express is, of course, a pony. And so he sees ponies everywhere. But they're the scariest freaking ponies you've ever seen. And they jump scare you a lot. So I had a lot of jump scares while on the plane. Excuse me, playing this game. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. So, yeah. That's crazy. Wow.
I'm just
what an experience.
Yeah, dude. It was insane. This game was recommended by 3 different people, I think, on the Discord. So thank you so much for the recommendation. It is $13 for a 2.5-hour game, which I think is a lot. Like a movie is $10 and it could be 2.5 hours, So I don't know. I'm just, I feel like $7 is probably good, like half the price maybe. But I really did enjoy it, and I feel like if I do want to be spooked up like next year, I might play it again and maybe try to like understand the conversations a little bit more than maybe I did on the first go around. I say that, but I probably won't do it. But I'm just saying, like, in an ideal world, I probably would do that, But that's the short story that I got for you today, Benny. I hope you liked it.
It's just story time, just listening to this insane tale you're telling me. But
it was insane, bro.
It's October, it's spooky season. We're playing Lorelei, which is a little spooky. It's not like scary, but it's like spooky, But that sounds like a different type. This
like was disturbing, grotesque, and intense for sure. There's a moment where you're running in a maze as Jimmy, and there's a pony centipede. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. A pony centipede that is like trying to get you in this maze. And the way it works is every maybe 5 seconds, it runs at full speed in one direction and laughs maniacally, kind of like a toddler maniacal laugh at you. And you never know where it's coming from, and it's really scary, man. And the maze felt so long, bro. It was a lot.
It sounds like it. Yeah, that's a lot. Anyways,
Ben, let's move on from mouthwashing. What have you been playing recently?
So before I started Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, I was playing a little bit of Hollow Knight Silksong since it came out last month. And after I finished it, I've been playing a lot more of it, and it's great. Like I love the game. I know you haven't played the first one all the way through. You played some of it.
Played some of it, but not all
But
of
it's
it.
like it's kind of just a more Hollow Knight, but
Okay.
it's like they do enough to differentiate it. Like there's enough new mechanics and there's enough new stuff that keeps it really fresh. And Hollow Knight's an awesome game, so more Hollow Knight isn't really a bad thing,
Sure.
obviously. There's a couple things I feel like they kind of miss the mark on as I'm like playing through it. Like everybody's talking about the difficulty of this game because people feel that it's harder than the original Hollow Knight. And I agree with that, but I don't think it's in a good way. Like it's not just a
Oh.
harder game. They took simple bosses, and this isn't every boss, but there's a lot of times where they take a really simple boss and then just throw a million summons or ads on top of the
I
boss.
see.
And it is the most annoying thing in the world
Yeah.
because it's just like the boss itself is simple. It has two moves, but then at the same time, there's 10 tiny little enemies flying all over the room at the same
And are
time.
those
That
like
you have to
regular
dodge.
mobs or
Pretty much, yeah. Regular
damn. Yeah, they're
mobs.
not even like unique to the boss.
They can be, but usually not. Usually not.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And so it's like that's annoying. And then another thing people are talking about is the runbacks. Like in Souls like games, like in Dark Souls, you have the runbacks from the bonfire to the boss or whatever. And that's definitely a problem too. I there's only been a few times where that's like really I've really noticed it, but I know it's something people are talking a lot about, and there are a few that are pretty frustrating. But yeah, so it's interesting. It's like people are talking about it as if it's like so much harder than Hollow Knight, but it feels like artificially harder, in my opinion. Like it's not like they just made the bosses more complex. They just like threw a bunch of extra summons on top of some of the bosses, which like just doesn't feel legit. It feels not, it feels artificial to me. And you're just taking a not great boss and making it really hard. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but it's still great. Like I'm still playing it. I'm still loving it because it's an awesome game. But those are just like some of the gripes I've had with it so far. So I'm sure I'm going to, continue playing and loving it though.
How far do you think you are in it?
I've played 15 hours.
Okay.
And like a little bit before we started recording, I beat a boss and got a screen that said like Act 2, like beginning Act 2. So I have no idea.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I have
That's
absolutely
incredible.
no idea. Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, I am looking forward to eventually playing and finishing Hollow Knight and then playing Hollow Knight Silksong. Hopefully I do have the opportunity to do so because I feel like I would really enjoy those games a ton.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if we played and loved Nine Souls, and Hollow Knight is in that same vein, and it's great. So yeah, that's what I've been playing is mostly Silksong. What besides Mouthwashing, which we've all heard a lot about by now. What else have you been playing?
Well, funny enough, I have been playing a game that I played on the Steam Deck on the plane that was also kind of I should probably hide. I've been playing Hades 2. Hades 2, God, Hades is my favorite game of all time, basically. And I just couldn't wait to play Hades 2 as soon as 1.0 came out. And I've been loving it. I think I have like 16 hours in the game already. I'm having so much fun. It's amazing. But of course, as people know, Hades has one character really, Hades 2 especially, that it's interesting. It's great design, but it's interesting to play in public. It's Aphrodite. Aphrodite is of course nude, and her hair is basically masking the parts that you probably shouldn't see in Steam Deck in
Right.
public. I don't know how to say that correctly, but
No, you nailed it. Yeah.
thanks, bro. Thanks, man. We're professionals here. That's the thing.
Yes.
So it's awkward to play on the Steam Deck sometimes, especially when there's like, I don't know, whoever's sitting next to you. It could be a grandma, it could be like a kid, and you're kind of like, all right, I'll play like this, to the side. But it's been really good. But the one thing that Hades 2 has, and I hope this is not like, it's not really a spoiler, but in the hub, just like in Hades, you can do things, right? And in the Hades 2 hub, I just unlocked there's like a bath, like a jacuzzi or something, like a mineral water or like hot bath stuff. So you can invite characters to have like a conversation and like increase your social points with them or whatever in these baths. And so, there is also like another like drawing of the characters that is, a little interesting if you play.
Listen, bro, you said your favorite game is Neon White, and now Hades and Hades 2. I'm on to you, brother.
I didn't say my favorite game is Neon White.
I am on to you.
No. Relax. Good gameplay, good design. Is that what you're talking about?
For sure.
It's so Hades 2 has been really good though, and it's so much content, Ben. So if you're gonna play it, you're gonna have to get on it because there's so much to do and so many runs to win to get the full story. So
I definitely am gonna play it. I think we kind of teased it already in the Video Game Book Club Discord, but I think if you're a Checkpoint listener, you get the inside scoop. But I think Hades 2 will be the game of the month for November. So
which is good for me.
I am definitely good for you because you've already started it.
It's good for
I'm
me.
definitely gonna have to manage to put down Silksong at some point and start that up.
Dude, if you're just starting Act 2 in Silksong, put that thing down, bro. Because or give yourself like one day Silksong, one day Hades 2, one day Silksong, one day Hades 2.
No,
because I don't know.
I don't want to do that. I'd rather just put one down and commit to the other.
It's hard. It's harder than Hades, I think. Hades 2. The gameplay is different. You have to kind of think of Melinue different than Zagreus. Totally different characters, totally different move sets with their weapons. So that was a little bit of a struggle for me. I feel like I was guns blazing, dashing like a million times as many times as I could, I guess, with Zagreus, and with Melinue, it's a slightly different gameplay. Yeah. And of course, I don't know if you've heard, there's twice as much content. I'll just leave it at that. So without spoiling it, it's a double content game. So it's more like Hades 2 and 3 together.
Sheesh. Okay, I do need to start this.
So I'm 16 hours in, and I have not seen 20% of the story probably. Like I don't know how many runs I need to win to kind of like see everything.
How many runs have you won?
I've won like 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Interesting.
I mean, the thing is too, like with these games, the first like 10 hours, it's mostly you're just talking to so many characters because every time you do a run, like I won my first run, like run 12, I think. But like run 12, I was probably like 8 hours in, after run 12, maybe approaching the 10 hour, just because you're talking to so many people, you're getting the nectars and like having these conversations, and you kind of don't really know how to play. So you take your time with everything. Whereas later I'm going to do runs in like 15 minutes, but right now my runs take like an hour. So
yeah, for sure. Well, it sounds like I need to start.
Get it on. I do have a little bit of a conversation to play. It's not as much Hades related maybe, but now that my boy has a Steam Deck, I don't know if you've been playing Silksong on it. How do you feel playing a game that's like action heavy and like precise, like Hades? I guess you haven't really been playing Hades, but you have been playing Silksong, which is kind of the same. In the Steam Deck versus a controller, like on your PC or something.
I think it's been pretty similar. I think certain inputs are a little harder. Like for me, the bumpers are a little harder than on a controller.
Definitely.
But aside from that, I think pretty normal.
Okay. I noticed this playing Hades like 3 years ago when I wanted to like, I played Hades like in 2020 or whatever, but I was like, oh, I got a Steam Deck. I want to play Hades on my Steam Deck again and like do it. And I was like bossing heats like 16 plus in the PC with my PlayStation controller. And then I just could not replicate the gameplay on Steam Deck. I couldn't. Like the button mashing wasn't there. It's like a little bit too difficult to like input everything. And I've been feeling that a little bit with Hades too, but I haven't had a lot of time. I've been traveling a little bit, so I haven't had a lot of time to sit down on my computer and play the game with a controller. So I've been playing it on the Steam Deck. And yeah, I definitely am worse. I would say like I'm like 30% worse on Steam Deck than on controller on games like Hades. I mean, I played Cuphead exclusively on Steam Deck, but you don't button mash in Cuphead. It's more like precise movement, which I think is easier to do.
Sure.
But in Hades, where you're just like maybe doing a little bit more button mashing, I don't know. I find that a little bit harder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm not the best Hades player in the world. Like I actually didn't even finish Hades 1. I don't think I saw the full story. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's been so long since I played the first one. It'll be like starting from a blank slate, basically. So maybe just starting from scratch on the Steam Deck will like feel a bit better because it'll just be what I end up getting used to instead of like starting on the controller and then transitioning. But yeah, I don't know. So far it's felt okay for me, but I can definitely see how, for quick inputs and stuff that requires a lot of stuff like that, I can definitely see how that might be a problem.
Yeah. Well, Ben, let's move on from the games we've been playing because, again, this is a running podcast, not a gaming podcast. No, I'm joking.
Correct.
What we have next for you guys is some viewer questions. We have viewer questions from two of our lovely fans, Inferno Disco and Joe, and I'm going to ask you the first question from Inferno Disco.
Okay.
What are your two most favorite video game genres? And what are your two least favorite genres?
It's a good question. I really don't know, to be honest with you. Like I thought about this a bit, and it's like there's not like genres I always come back to. Like I feel like I play so much different stuff. Like I'm more so just drawn to good games instead of like preferring one genre over another. Like if there's a really good, I don't know, walking simulator, like Death Stranding, I'm into it. If there's a bad if there's a bad walking simulator, not into it, right?
Yeah.
Like something like that. So I don't know. Favorites, like in terms of genre, like I really just like stuff that has some sort of engaging story. I like getting into that, but I don't know. I'm kind of genre agnostic a little bit.
Dang, the first genre agnostic man in the world.
What are your favorites?
That's not the question. The question is, give me two video game genres that you love and two that you don't love. Do it.
Okay, well, you need to go. I need to think about it.
Let's start with the least favorite ones. Farming sims. Right. Get them out of here. I am so tired of cozy farming simulators. I am like, blech, disgusting. Get them out of here. I love Spiritfarer. I did. Okay, but that's the only one I'm going to play. Okay. Stardew Valley, I know people love it. I have no desire to ever play that game. Like literally. I know it's like one of the best games ever. I don't really care. It's just who I am. I'm not going to play it. I don't care about crops. I don't care about villagers. I would care less about marrying a villager. Burn them all. I don't know.
Wow.
I know people really like it, but yeah.
So we're not playing The Haunted Chocolatier when that comes out. That is what I'm hearing.
No, God. I mean, unless the community picks it, I'm not picking it. But
okay.
Yeah. I'm exaggerating, obviously. And then the other one might probably be like I'm not super into like point and click games. They're not. I wouldn't say it's my least favorite genre, but I definitely don't want to sit there and play point and click games. To be honest with you,
I would actually agree with that. And I was
yeah.
actually a little starting to play Lorelei. I was kind of nervous because it's not point and click, but it is kind of like in
Sure.
a few ways. Like it's similar to a point and click game. Basically, you can actually walk around instead of clicking. But I would agree with that. Like an actual point and click game, I'm not super into.
The favorite video game genres, I do agree with you that it's difficult to choose because my our both of us top 5 games or even top 20 games of all time have like probably 15 different genres. It's they're not all the same. But to answer the question, I think that my 2 favorite genres are a let's call it a strategy roguelike. I'm inventing it. Strategy roguelike, where it's a roguelike that it's mostly based on like deck building or action, but not like shmups. Like I don't like shmups or like bullet heavens. I would rather something that it's a little more delicate and something that I can like strategize around. Like a Hades, you can do that, and that's why I really, really like it. But I really like more like deck builders because of that in that way, because I want to like over engineer things in my deck to like be able to beat any enemy that is in front of me, in the most optimal way, in the most efficient way, in the way that I can deal the most damage in some way. So those like really make me really happy, which I think is why I like Neon White, because it's different. It's an action game, but it's one of those things where like, can I reach the end of the level in 5 seconds? And and it's just like it makes you think and strategize, like how can I do this with like just the tools that the game provides, and it's really fun to be able to do that. You're too much. And then I would say my other most favorite video game genre is probably some sort of oh man, I don't know. I would probably say like maybe JRPGs. I really like them. I don't have time to play them, but I do love them. I love my Shin Megami Tenseis. I love my Persona games. I love my my Pokemons. I love my Final Fantasies. I don't really love Pokemon as much anymore, but I did. I love my Final Fantasies. I love my Fire Emblems. That's more like a turn-based tactics JRPG, but still, that's really, really vibe with them. So there we go. You have them there.
I would say my favorite genre is probably just like Souls-likes.
I love a Souls.
Just like, but there's just been so many good Souls-like games over the past, half decade. So that's like an easy choice. And then there's probably a point in time where I would have said another favorite genre is just like RPGs, but I feel like I've like kind of fallen away from them. Like I feel the AAA RPG genre has just like become really boring. And I like Clair Obscur came out earlier this year, and it was like an RPG but with kind of JRPG elements almost, and I feel like that was so much better. So and there have been other JRPGs that I've really enjoyed. So that's definitely a genre I like. Genres I don't like, I would say point and click, probably for sure. I'm honestly not huge on puzzle games, just like in general.
Sure.
But I really did enjoy Lorelei. And I'll like talk more about why that is on the full episode probably. And then honestly, I'm not a big roguelike person, to be 100. I know that opinion will get me, executed in the year 2025 but I'm really
dude,
not
everything is a roguelike
person.
Now it's like annoying.
It is, and it's annoying, and I like the payoff of a roguelike, but I don't like the repeated failures that you have to go to in order for the game to become fun. And
well, you don't like
doesn't
puzzle
even
games.
make
Roguelikes
sense.
are like puzzle games, I feel like, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it feels like it feel, like I said, Souls-likes are my favorite genre. And that's the same thing. Like you kind of have to fail a number of times before you can succeed in those games. But it's like, I feel like there's a skill, like it's different types. In roguelikes, it's like you have to do all this like strategy and planning. And I don't really like strategy games in general. So it's like, yeah, I'm not a huge roguelike person, but we're going to play Hades too, and it's going to rock.
Let's go. It's going to rock so much. I mean, listen, Hades, it's a roguelike, but it's so much more than that. You can call it a roguelite if you want with a T. Yeah. The whole thing. Yeah, I mean, I think the roguelike mechanics of in the video game world is just like what people like right now, more bite-sized gameplay that you can like do runs in like 40 minutes or less, just because our brains are built like that, or at least they're transitioning our brains to be like that. The overlords, so maybe that's why we're liking roguelikes more. But Ben, again, he always says no to the man, and he's saying no roguelikes for me.
Roguelikes are not the man. Roguelikes are indie studios.
To the overlords. So the overlords are trying to break our brains.
Oh, my bad.
Into liking, different things every 20 minutes. So.
Speaking of short form content and algorithms, I'll ask you Joe's question, which
Great
is
segue, dude.
I want to hear some lessons learned. See, that's how you do a segue, folks.
Relax.
Joe said, I want to hear some lessons learned over these past many months about podcasting and promoting engagement.
It's hard. It's so hard. It's hard. And it's hard. That's it. Lessons learned. I think it's not really that I've learned about podcasting and promoting engagement. I feel like the lessons learned is more like introspective. I've learned about myself a lot more by doing Video Game Book Club, by doing Buenale Games, and by like committing myself to different things. I've learned to just have schedule in my life, learned to finish games. Ben, I used to not finish games. Did you know this? I used to leave games 60% done every time. Every time. My friends would get mad at me because I would tell them, oh my God, I'm playing this game, it's lit. Then they would buy it. They would play it and finish it. And I would have moved on to another game halfway through. And they would be like, what is wrong with you? Finish the games you buy. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to the next one. The past, 18 months of us finishing games back to back is the longest streak of me finishing games in my whole life.
Wow.
My whole life. So that's my lesson learned. No, but in terms of promoting, let me talk about promoting, and maybe you can do the podcasting. Sure. In terms of promoting, the first 3 seconds of anything that you do is the most important thing. People don't have the attention span, and unfortunately, Ben and I are not like, we're not like yellers of like, I bet you didn't know that. And then you go to the thing. Right. We're just not like that. We're energetic, especially me, and I yell a lot and I have big emotions, but I'm not gonna like start a video by baiting anyone into anything, So I think that our promotion and our engagement is a slow climb, but I think Ben and I are happy with that. And before, like 6 months ago, we would be like, dude, only like 500 people watch this short. I like worked 2.5 hours on it and like it feels really bad, and like 5 people liked it or whatever. But now I've got to the point where 2 things have happened. You have people that come back and like and comment and you recognize them and you're like, oh wait, some people do like what we do. And 2, some of our videos are doing better because we are being ourselves, and maybe the algorithm isn't understanding who we are and who they should send the video to. So we have like better videos now or whatever. So I don't know. It's hit or miss, but to be honest, I'm just happy to be doing this with Benny because every time I get on the mic and talk to him, I'm really happy. So yeah.
Yeah. Great answer. I'll say about podcasting in general, it's like, it's one of those things where it's kind of a like joke basically, like, oh, they do a podcast, you do a podcast, whatever. Like it's almost a stand-in for just like easy thing podcast. But if you, and I'm sure it can be if it's something you just kind of show up once a month and like ramble a bit. But like, I feel like if you're really trying to put effort into it, like I do, and like I know you do, like it's something we're always thinking about. And you can ask you can ask both of our wives. It's something we're always thinking about, and it's something we're planning around, and it's something that we're always trying to improve in different ways. We're always tinkering and trying to look at feedback and trying to, boost engagement and stuff like that. So it takes up a lot of mental energy that's outside of just, doing a 2-hour podcast once a month, especially when it involves a video game, because then it's extra stakes. It's like, I need to play this video game over the next month, and if I'm not like super enjoying it, I have to play it anyway because we got to finish it. And so that adds like a different element to it for me. And like we've played games that I'm sure both of us wouldn't have finished otherwise. Like, the Plucky Squires one, I'll call out by name. Just like, I never would have bought that game if it wasn't for Video Game Book
that game
Club.
was terrible.
So it's just like, it adds a different layer to the gaming experience, and it takes up a lot of like mental energy and planning and stuff. But for me, it's worth it. Like because I enjoy it. I enjoy sitting down and just being able to kind of yap with you, my pal, and just kind of talk about what's on our minds, like we do on the Checkpoint, or go through a game and talk about that in depth, like we do on Video Game Book Club. And then the best part, I mean, obviously, is the community. Like you said, it's been a very slow climb. This isn't a meteoric success story, but I feel like that's kind of what podcasting is, right? You kind of slowly find your audience, and you kind of build your core audience, and it just is going to, slowly grow over time. And with that has come, some recurring viewers, like JP said, and the Discord, which is awesome and so much fun to interact and chat and get to know people in. So yeah, it's a lot of effort for sure. Don't let anybody tell you it's not, but I think at the end of the day, it's worth it.
Guys, Ben writes 10 pages of notes for some videos sometimes. It's true. I can see them, and the dude he's grinding for the notes. What he said is correct. We can't pretend that we know what we're talking about when we talk about a video game, because our job is to literally tell you exactly how the game went. And it's like, it was nerve-wracking at first. I was like, Ben, how can I remember all of this plot? Like, I can't. And are we going into too much detail into one thing? Are we going into not as much detail in something else? But I think slowly we both kind of met in the middle, in the way where not that anyone was here or there. It's just like we just kind of converged into, okay, we'll pick the best parts. We know there's like 3 or 4 acts of a game, and we'll just like go into detail when we want to, and then skim over some stuff when we want to as well, which has helped us tremendously, because we still put a lot of effort into it, but it's so much more natural, because games always have really good moments, and then they just have some average moments too, and we don't really need to focus on those.
For sure.
And in terms of, in terms of content creation, it's hard. That's it. I don't know. It's hard, and it requires a lot of time. And, thankfully, we are really lucky that both Ben and I have full lives, and we love everything that we do and all the things that we get to do. And that makes it so that we don't have all of the time in the world that I would want for Buenale Games. But I'm totally okay with that. I'm so happy with everything that I do on a day-to-day. I wish I just had 10 more hours in a day, but everyone does. So, who knows? I might do more traveling if I had 10 more hours in a day than Buenale Games. I don't know.
There's an old curse that is, may you live in interesting times. And it doesn't sound like a curse, right? But at its core, it's a curse, because interesting times means that there's so many things going on and so much stuff happening in your life. Your life isn't boring. And,
Yeah.
in some ways that's good, and in some ways that's a curse. But I think we both definitely live in interesting times right
We
now.
definitely do. And yeah, I was joking, obviously. I sometimes I do feel really bad when I tell Ben, or I even tell people in the Discord, like, oh, I'm planning on doing this, and it just, then when I don't, then I just don't do it, because, and it's not because I don't want to, it's because I literally finish the games of the month for Video Game Book Club the day before, and because I just don't have like 30 hours, because it's not just 30 hours of playing, it's the recording, it's the doing the social media posts, where that it takes time. Even posting takes time, like all the little pod games, we call them, that we do on TikTok and YouTube and stuff, that gets a lot of engagement, or are the most engagement for us, I guess. It takes time to edit out all of them, to talk with Ben and like plan them, and have like batches ready and post them. And then you get to the thing where like your phone is dinging and you're like, I don't want to look at my phone anymore, and then you feel like you wasted the day looking at your phone instead of like maybe working on something else. So it's a lot. It just takes a lot of time, and yeah, we can do it a little bit better, but it's cool. Thank you, Joe and Inferno, for your questions. This was really fun to have like
great questions,
Video Game Book Club related questions, and just yap with my boy. But Ben, we're going to the gaming news segment. Why don't you tell me what you have prepared for us today?
Honestly, I don't feel like we have to spend a ton of time in gaming news this month. I think there's not a lot of stuff. I would say the main thing that got people talking was the Xbox Game Pass price hike.
I know, dude.
Which was significant. This happened very
significant.
a few weeks ago. They increased the price of the premium tier, which is basically what we know as Xbox Game Pass. It's the full library of games. It's day one access. It's all that stuff. They increased it like 100% to $30 a month, which is crazy. $30 a month is so much money.
It's so much money.
And I don't know. It's just like people are mad, rightfully so. People are very rightfully mad about that. I think it's crazy, but I mean, this is the tech life cycle, right? Like this has been what every tech adjacent company has been doing for a decade, which is you start a service, you sell it for really cheap, and you operate at a loss to build a huge user base. And then once you have the user base, you jack up the prices and you hope that people don't stop using their apps. That's what YouTube TV's been doing. That's what Netflix has been doing. That's what Spotify's been doing. Everybody. This is the tech company playbook. If you want to operate a tech company, that's how you do it. And yeah, it's exactly what Xbox Game Pass has done. They grew a huge user base of all these gamers that want to pay $10 a month to have access to a big library of games. And yeah, now they totally are screwing everybody over. So it sucks.
It does suck. I had Xbox Game Pass just for the PC. That one was $9.99. It was great. I felt like I was using it. I played 3 or 4 Video Game Book Club games on it, so I was like already worth it, And then the Discord was talking about how I hadn't even noticed, and then the prices had spiked, and then I looked and I got charged the $9.99. I was just before the price hike, because I think they would have put me on the $30 one. So I was like, Jesus Christ. So I took it out. But yeah, I don't know. It sucks. I feel like everything subscription based sucks right now. Like my wife and I need to constantly like check all of our subscriptions, because we were paying probably like $70 in subscriptions 3 years ago, and that became $300, and you're like, what? How did that happen? How did that happen? What the hell? Cancel everything. You're like, what is going on? And YouTube TV being the most egregious. I remember when it was $40 for like,
I know, dude.
like 100 channels, 100. And I split it with my mom and I was like, hell yeah, $20 and I can watch TV and lit. And now it's like 110 for what we use. So yeah, it's crazy. I still use it though, but I'm not endorsing it. Not endorsing it.
No, definitely not.
Also, Xbox can't get out of like news. You put here that some retailers like Costco are not carrying Xboxes anymore. Which is really interesting.
I don't know that there's like a cause for that. I mean, Xbox increased their prices, which is due to global stuff, basically tariffs and stuff like that. They're increasing their prices, which sucks. And retailers are just not carrying Xboxes anymore because I guess the demand is low enough that it just doesn't justify the price of stocking it anymore. So I don't know if people are buying Xboxes. I don't know what's going on, but they're not carrying the consoles. Like I saw Target is stopping carrying Xbox games, which seems crazy to me.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So yeah, I really have no idea what's going on with all that. I don't know if it's industry wide. I don't know if it's Xbox specific, but it's crazy. But I mean, it kind of speaks a little bit to like the state of just these like first party kind of AAA big games and game studios and stuff. I think maybe, outside of a couple it's like an analogy is like cable TV, right? You have cable TV where there's all of these cable programs, but what do 99.9% of people buy and use cable TV for is sports.
Yeah.
And in big console gaming, you have 99.9% of people playing your Call of Duty or your FIFA or your NBA 2K, and nobody's playing anything else. So it's like, I don't know. It's like maybe these kind of consoles are in a weird place with the current gaming market right now, and it's kind of being propped up by these like really big franchises. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're so afraid of like moving on from their previous console that like if someone wants to just play Call of Duty and FIFA, you can still use your PlayStation 4. Like you don't need to buy a PlayStation 5. You don't need to buy an Xbox Series. You can use your Xbox One, I guess, which is fine. And that's totally like I'm obviously on the consumer side. The corporations, they can suck it. No, I don't want to buy a $600 Xbox. Thank you very much. I've never been an Xbox person. I think they have been between Nintendo and PlayStation. I mean, they are their little baby brother, so I think Costco though, this became big news, but Costco is always cutthroat. Like Costco doesn't want to run any of their products at a loss. These dudes are 100%. Like the masterminds of like big consumption. That's literally what they sell. Look at this, buy 30 boxes of one thing, and they do a good job. So they're like, yeah, Xbox aren't selling here. Get out of here. I don't care. And it's going to be $600. Get out of here. No, I don't know how much it is actually, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, I think October has been relatively quiet in terms of gaming news. We've got November will be a big month for gaming news because we've got the Game Awards. They're going to be announcing all of the nominations for this year. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about that. 2025 has been an insane year for gaming releases so far, and I'm really excited to see what all the nominations are and see what wins. And we'll have to do our own Buenale Game Awards where we talk about all the games we played this year and pick some winners and stuff like that. So that'll be fun.
Oh, that'll be so fun to do. I can't wait for the Buenale Game Awards. And I can't wait to give each other awards. I want to give you an award for the best yapper, Yeah. Congratulations, Ben.
No, buddy, you are the best yapper, and it's not close.
What? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Me neither.
Okay. All right. We are going to leave it there for this episode of The Checkpoint. We appreciate all of you for always listening and tuning in. We know the Checkpoint is, crafted specifically for our video game book club and Discord community. You guys are the best. So thanks for always supporting us. We will be back, of course, like always, in 2 weeks for our Lorelei and the Lizard Eyes episode. And like I mentioned, I will be streaming today for you. So, I'm streaming tonight. And yeah, do the usual things like subscribe, send it to your mom. Yeah, do the thing. Sure. And then hopefully she thinks we're cool. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Oh, bye.
Bye.